Hello, everybody. Happy Tuesday evening. We are coming to you live once again. We had so much fun last Thursday that we decided we were going to do this more often. So tonight, what we have is a reunion of some of our high school musical cast members. So our very first show at GCPA, we're bringing back some of our actors to talk about their experience, what they're doing right now, and just take a little stroll down memory lane. So we're glad that you're here with us today. And let's go ahead and jump in. Let's see who's with us today. So first off, we have Kendall.
Hi, everybody.
Hey, Kendall, how are you tonight?
I'm doing great. I'm so glad to be here. This is so fun.
Well, we're glad to have you. It's been a minute since we've talked about High School Musical, and it's been a minute since we saw you because last time we saw you was at Matilda. But we're really happy to have you back and get a chance to talk. So
I am so glad to be here.
Remind everybody what role you played in High School Musical.
I played the very well-known role of Jock. Not a number, no numbers. It's just Jock. And I also played the role of someone who auditioned really poorly for the High School Musical, and I sort of sing really off-key, and it was really, really bad. But those were my little parts, and it was great. Yeah.
So kind of the ode to Christine from a chorus line, right?
Essentially, yes. As a fourth grader or fifth grader, yeah. As a young middle schooler.
Excellent. We're so glad to have you, Kendall. Thanks for being here.
Thanks so much.
Next up, we have Julia.
Hi.
Hi, Julia. How are you tonight?
I'm doing well, thanks. How are you?
I'm fantastic. Thanks for asking. So, Julia, you were one of the kind of stars in regards to what the story itself portrays. So, remind us who it was that you played in High School Musical.
I was Sharpay Evans.
So we're going to have an opportunity to talk more about your experience playing that role and creating that role. It's an iconic role to be able to play, particularly in GCPA's inaugural show. We're so happy to be able to work with you. And we're going to get to hear a little bit about what you're up to right now as well in a little bit. So thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Next up, we have Joel.
Hey.
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing pretty well. What about yourself?
Doing fantastic. Thanks so much for asking. It's so great to have you back.
Of course, it feels so good to be back.
Well, we're glad. And you got to play another iconic role. Who was it that you played?
I played Sharpay's brother, Ryan Evans.
Yeah, and again, another fun role. It's one of those iconic roles in the musical theater canon, particularly when you're thinking about the youth that get to play that role. So we're looking forward to hearing some of your stories from the show.
Yeah, of course.
And also find out what you're up to right now. So we'll get you back out here in just a second.
Okay.
Last but certainly not least, we have Beckett.
Hello. Sorry.
Always wanted to make an entrance, right?
No. You saved me for last too. How am I supposed to interpret that?
Well, I saved you for last because you played the first male lead in GCPA history. Remind us who that was again?
No.
No?
6 years is a while, I think.
So Troy Bolton.
Yeah.
You got to play Troy Bolton.
Yeah.
So and it looks like you've got a little bit of memorabilia there behind you. We'll get a chance to talk about that here in a little bit. So we're really glad to have you here tonight, Beckett. Thanks so much for being here.
I'm glad to be here.
So Stephanie, let's go ahead and bring everybody out. Everybody's on one screen. Yay! So Ken, what are you up to right now? What's going on in your world? Let's start with Kendall.
So I am finishing up my junior year. We get out on May 22nd, so pretty close here. I found out today that I'm going to be the editor-in-chief of our newspaper next year, so that's going to be a big part of my life. So separate from shows and theater and COVID, that's something else that's going on. I'm just kind of pushing through like everyone else, I guess. I mean, it's all pretty similar in that we're doing what we can, and I'm all right. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. That's great. And congratulations on editor-in-chief of your newspaper.
Oh, thank you.
And you were in that that little melee. Stephanie, put that picture back up.
Number
Hey,
7. Oh my
number
God.
7 right
Who is
there.
that? There's a lot of familiar faces, though, I think, definitely. Jack Villar's right next to me.
Yeah. Number 44.
Mm-hmm.
So Kendall, do you remember the significance of your number 7?
So my number is 17 because I was born on the 17th, and so I've always been kind of with that. But I guess it wasn't an option, so I went with 7, closest thing there was. I honestly, I don't remember much of the show at all. We're just gonna be very honest. But also, I remember the important parts, of course. But the number was not number 1 on my list. No.
Yeah, well, and everybody knows that the GCPA likes to put little Easter eggs in
Definitely.
their shows. And so a lot of the numbers that were selected for those jerseys were significant to the team, to the directing team. So number 7 was actually the number that I wore when I played baseball all growing up.
No way. I did not know that at all. Or maybe I didn't remember it, but that's so funny.
Yeah. So Julia, what are you up to?
I just finished my sophomore year at Millikan University today.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I'm pursuing a BFA in musical theater and a minor in dance. And in the summers, I work at Six Flags and the shows there. And that's about it. I'm just kind of, like Kendall said, getting through the COVID stuff, hanging out. Yeah.
That's awesome. And how many years have you been performing at Six Flags?
This will be my 4th season. I think 4th season now. Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. And BFA at Millikan. There you are.
Yes.
How's that program? What is it that you like about that program?
I love all the opportunities that I have outside of class to explore creatively. I took up puppetry last semester.
Very cool.
Super fun. I learned how to do that. And as far as like within class, I'm taking the standard tap, jazz, ballet. We're kind of getting into like exploring decades in musical theater. You guys happening Q? I remember that. Yeah.
Avenue Q, and I wish I had known that you had gotten into puppetry, because I would have brought Roscoe out tonight.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's an improv troupe with the puppets. It's really fun. We get to like write material and play improv games with people, and I thought it was a great skill to learn, and it's a lot of fun, and yeah.
That's super cool. Awesome. Well, thanks, Julia. Joel, how about yourself? What are you up to?
Wow, I just graduated from the Boston Conservatory at Berkeley in Boston, Massachusetts, with an BFA in musical theater with an emphasis in dance. It's kind of crazy to say that, like, let alone like this show seems like a lifetime ago, but like starting out my like college career, like it feels like yesterday, but it feels like forever ago. So it's kind of like a surreal time right now for me. Right now I'm back in St. Louis for the time being, hunkering down with my family. I was supposed to be coming back to St. Louis in the Muni this summer. I was going to be in Mary Poppins in the male ensemble. And then I was supposed to go up to Rhode Island to be in 2 shows at Theater by the Sea. I like, it's like such a crazy time, because like you want to be able to do all these things, but also like to take care of everybody. I think it's so important, and I'm so thankful to be a part of theaters that put people first and put that over the revenue that they're losing, and they really care deeply about their performers and their community that they are within, which I love. And then after that, I'm hoping to move to New York in the fall. So kind of like everybody else, you don't know what's going on, but just hoping for the best and take it day by day.
Yeah, excellent. And oh man, do you remember that number? Do you remember what number that was from?
Is that what I've been?
Bob?
I am 99% sure that was Bob to the Top.
Yeah, I was gonna say that has to be Bob to the Top.
Really?
No.
Wasn't I in a blue dress for that?
Oh, we're getting
it wasn't
confirmation. Nope, it wasn't.
And Stephanie will correct. Stephanie will let us know because. So Joel, I think what you shared there is so important, particularly around what the theater community is looking at. Oh, what I've been looking for. All right. Because you mentioned that. I guess that was bought to the top then.
The blue dress.
With the blue dress. Hey, there's
Jack.
Oh, Jack Miller. In regards to what you mentioned about the theater community and and putting people first and focusing on individuals and individual safety and their health, and that makes sense with what we do, right? Because we tell human stories, and while we want to be able to tell stories, we want to make sure that the people who are going to be there to see our stories are safe and healthy as well. And so there are a lot of difficult decisions that are being made, but ultimately it's for the betterment of our community, which is why we do art in the first place, right?
It's also such an exciting time going into a profession where we get to create something new. Where I think there's a lot of stigmatism and a lot of what people think musical theater is, and now that we're going into such a time that's unknown, we get to create something that we love and want to do every single day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely, and that's even starting right now in the midst of COVID. I mean, so many artists and yourselves as well, like the GCPA alums and students are creating in new and unique ways at every turn, and that's exciting to see because that only continues to keep that spark going in regards to when we come out of this. What are the stories that we're going to be able to tell?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Yeah. Excellent. Thanks, Joel. Beckett. How you doing, man? What are you up to these days?
I'm okay. I'm in Kansas City at the moment. Hunkering down. I'm doing some online courses. I also just finished my sophomore year. That's the second one, right? Yeah. At Truman State, which is fantastic. And I also sent in the part for the Purple Summer. Oh, there's Jenna. Uh-oh.
Oh my
Hi,
gosh.
Jenna.
Uh-oh. But I've been doing that. I'm in the house. I'm staying safe and playing the whole thing where everyone has a balcony in like Italy. You always see in the social media, they're always playing stuff on the balcony. Everyone, if you live in Italy, you have a balcony in your house or apartment. So I'm playing, and they always play music there. So I'm playing music to help stop the insanity of being all cooped up on the porch. And I'm going to try to live stream some, but I don't know. But that's what I'm doing. Sorry. Yeah.
No need to apologize. That's awesome. And oh, there you are.
Okay.
So you were Beckett. You were 8th grade at that time? Is that right?
Yeah.
You want me to say more, Julia?
Oh,
Is it really that long ago?
Yeah, it says right here on this nifty book I have of all the pictures, May 16th through 18th, 2014. So that was in 4 days and 6 years. 6 years ago, 4 days from now, we opened apparently. So that's a long time.
That's like to the day.
Yeah.
Isn't the 16th on Friday?
Yeah.
We're really close. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's wild. How about that? That's great timing here for this reunion.
Come on, Paul. We should have had it 4 days from now. Come on.
It's all right. We're in the middle of Tech Week for 6 years ago.
Yeah.
So
there you go. Tech Week anniversary. There you
That's right. Yeah. Just for the record, the producer is actually the one that put that up on the screen. So we're just for everybody that's out there watching. So Kendall, I've got a question for you because I couldn't help but notice a comment that you made on Instagram when we posted that we were going live with the four of you today. You commented, and I'm paraphrasing, that that this show was some of your best acting because you were acting like you were an athlete.
Yeah, so I think there's a big notion with theater kids that sports are very off limits, and it's a big joke that we don't mess with that stuff. And so being cast as a jock and wearing like a men's basketball uniform with a button up under it was just very out of my comfort zone, especially being in 5th grade and being like 11 years old or something. I was not expecting that, and I went on to play a boy in Greenwood and like multiple productions at GCPA, but so that kind of started all of that. But yeah, get your head in the game, that's great. But Stephanie taught us the basketball choreography, and that I remember we were in Reber, so I guess we were one of the classrooms, and I remember my basketball fell off the stage. Oh my god, hi Molly. So I remember we launched basketballs off the stage multiple times, never during an official run, I don't think, but so many dress rehearsals were just like in the crowd, in the audience. And so I remember learning that and being like, this is pretty crazy for their first show that they're doing this and they're attempting something really complicated. And but we had so much fun with it. And Jack was there, and so many of my friends that still do GPA today were there, and it was super fun. So definitely hard, but it was great.
Well, we set the stage early, right away, that we knew that you all had the ability to take some pretty challenging choreography for a lot of actors who have never played basketball.
Definitely.
And you did a great job with it.
I appreciate it.
So one of the other iconic things about this particular show, in addition to the fact that it was our first one, that we had actors who were portraying athletes who maybe weren't athletes, is that Anna, who played Gabriella, she arrived to the final dress in a complete leg immobilizer because she had injured herself at school that day. She was very wide-eyed because she had just come from the doctor and they had given her some pain medication to kind of help with what was going on. And there were a lot of things going on. So our lead actress is on crutches and a leg immobilizer, final dress rehearsal. What were you all thinking?
I don't think we were.
Yeah. That was the big gag at the end of it was she had a line. I don't know if you were planning to say this big old punchline, Paul, but it's there was a line that Julia and Anna shared where it was in the original show, a script that was well, I'm sure you'll be fine, but just break a leg. And then she goes, I already did. That was like all the tension of the whole thing, because that was already near the end. So all the tension there was just shattered when it was like, oh, okay, it's okay. Like the first time we did that, it was just like, it's she tore her ACL. That was fine. But that was it was only, I think that we still pulled it off. And it was fine that it wasn't like a show stopping issue. So we pushed through.
Yeah, what was really cool to watch was how everybody in the cast, you all rallied around Anna in that moment because we were ready to do whatever was needed for her, right? We were going to make adjustments. We were going to pull her out of numbers if that's what she wanted to do, and she chose to stick around for a vast majority of the work and worked around with the crutches. Did a fantastic job with it, and just the camaraderie that you all had with her, and of course the entire cast had with her, really helped lift her up in that moment where it could have been a showstopper, literally. Of course, that's where the understudy was born at GCPA. After that run closed, Stephanie, Lori, Ashley, and we all sat down. We were like, we need understudies because you never know what's going to happen. And of course, we turned it into what it is today right away, which is let's treat it as if it were a professional company. And what does it look like to be an understudy in a professional company? Mm-hmm.
I think.
Go ahead, Kendall.
I just think that also that moment set a pretty big precedent for people like being able to step in and rally around, like you said, because I remember Bella got sick midway through Millie, and the understudy, very many examples of that. And I think the way that people step up and react to those situations is very specific to GCPA, because I've never, like, no one's ever felt like, oh my gosh, is this really going to work? Is this show going to go on? Because it always does. And I think that was like the very first example of that, which is pretty cool. But go ahead. Absolutely.
Well, and that's the story that you mentioned with Bella and Kylie. That's a story that we tell a lot as well, because Stephanie and I were sitting in the house and all of a sudden Kylie walks on. We had no idea. Because of the way that you all manage that responsibility. Bella's sick. Kylie was like, all right, I'm going, let's go. And of course that left Stephanie and I in a tailspin where we're sprinting down the hallway to get to the green room. Is she okay? Is she okay? Is she hurt? What's going on? We're like, no, she just didn't feel well. She's good. We got it. We're like, you guys are awesome. So Joel and Julia, you played this iconic duo of Ryan and Sharpay. So what was it like telling their story?
Well, I feel like there's been this resurgence of like Ryan and Sharpay like internet activity where people are like, they were the protagonists of this movie, like they were the good guys the whole time. And I don't know about you, Joel, but I love that because like, even though we were like, I was 13 at least, so like at the time I was just like, whoa, I'm playing this part. Like there were moments in the show where like I had to find ways that I connected to her, obviously, and like ways that like I could see like why she was doing what she was doing. And little did I know back then that this is like true, like finding the character acting technique. But back then, it was just fun.
I was just so thankful to have someone always next to me in the show. I never felt alone because like I don't think I think Sharpay goes on without Ryan, but I don't think Ryan ever goes on without Sharpay. And I think that it felt so nice and felt so supported. And I loved the big dance numbers. That's what I love about musical theater is the singing and dancing. And I think that's all Ryan's about too, So I felt like I was playing a part, but I wasn't because I connected with him in so many different ways. And then also just to have my sister, my partner in crime, my duo right there next to me, it was even better.
I know like backstage, you're a little bit older than me and I looked up to you so much because I remember like you were just like this dancer, you came in, you had it all down. I was like, whoa, I want to be just like Joel.
Oh, I didn't have it together. I did not. I trust me, look in those pictures. I didn't have it together. But that means a lot. That means a lot, Julia. Thank you.
Well, and in that picture that Stephanie popped up here just a moment ago, the microphones, the prop mics, the other one, the one with the prop mics, those prop mics were bedazzled.
Oh, yeah, they were.
And we got bedazzled too.
We still have them in one of the props boxes in the studio.
Wow. Come on.
Before COVID hit, I was back there digging through stuff to find some props for Urinetown, and yes, and the old school cell phones. We still have those too, and Julia Sharpay's bedazzled cell phone. That's still in there as well.
I remember when we made those.
I was gonna say I remember bedazzling one day.
Yeah.
Like
wow. Yeah, that's still there. And I think I forget what show it was recently that we had cell phones in it. Maybe it was Carrie.
We had cell phones in Carrie. I know some of those cell phones in Carrie were just real.
Yeah.
But I don't think they used one of the bedazzled ones.
Well, because I think Bella specifically asked when I was pulling props out. I think Bella saw it.
Oh, Bella!
I specifically asked to use it. I told her that's from High School Musical. That's from the first show. So Beckett, you played the first male lead in GCPA history. Tell us, what was it like playing Troy Bolton in that inaugural production?
Well, played is a generous term here. I mean, it was this first show I was ever in, so I was. It's not a. It was not a. It was not a very like. I remember we talked earlier. Kendall made the comment about Kendall, her pretending like she could do sports. I was honestly pretending like I could act, and I also had to do the whole basketball thing, which is really, the basketballs are just time bombs on stage. I think one time during the tech week, one of them went off, and like it didn't even go near anybody. But I remember everyone was just like, the second it happened, it was really scary. But being a lead as an actor for Troy was difficult because it wasn't supposed to be difficult because it's Troy, but I couldn't do it. It's still such a. It was such a. It was for it being a first show and like having to just learn all the lines using the Paul Pagano approved flip book to learn your lines. All of that really that carried me through, and of course the other actual talented people like these two, and yeah, because they were actually trained actors who had like courses in singing and dancing and actually could dance and actually could do everything. So being up there already with other people that really were pulling their weights and were also it made me inspired to get on my own game. To get my head in the game. Really, about that, because it was a very intimidating time to be. I mean, yeah, it was. I was Troy Bolton. I was the lead. Oh wow! Look at that one. That one's straight from Instagram. You can tell.
And that was Justin. He played your right hand man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's great. I haven't talked. I've seen Trey, who's Zeke, like once since then, and I've seen Elliot, the Velvet Fog of East High. Elliot, yeah, there he is on cue, right on cue. He was actually on my cross country team in high school, so that was fun. Oh, there they are. Oh my God.
Trey flirting with Julia.
Yeah. Oh, is he in the comments? Is he in the comments? That's great. That's great. Hey, there he is. Look at him. He's wearing the shirt. That's the cross country shirt I was talking about. Oh, there he is. He makes great food. He's very professional. Yeah.
That's it. It was in the Heights.
Thank you, Jenna.
Thank you. Thank you, Jenna.
Oh, Kendall's okay. I don't know what happened to her.
Oh.
We'll get her back here in just a second. So we're kind of going down memory lane here, and many of you brought some memories with you. You've got some memorabilia that you brought to the call here. So Julia, I think you've got something that you wanted to show, right?
I don't have anything from the actual show, but I got this hat when we did it. I've never worn it. I love it. And I cleaned out my closet literally last week and I found it. So it's very lucky that this happened. So
now you've worn it.
Now I've worn it.
That's awesome. Beckett, we can see some of your memorabilia here.
Yeah. Well, and if you want to say the same thing you just said about Julia's hat, now I've worn it. Wow. But anyway, I have this amazing jacket from the show, which was purchased or stolen. I forgot. But
I was going to be very clear about this. We did give it to you after the show.
There you go.
You did not steal it from us. We do not condone taking props or costumes.
That counts as a steal
from us or any other theater company without permission.
Well, it's a good thing that I didn't take this pom-pom also, because that would be a real shame if I took it. No, this was one of the, I believe, I can't think of anything else this would be, but there was just this was in the, and I remember thinking I had something else from the show. So whatever, this was something and then uncrumpled, I think. I think it was folded. But this was probably one of the little minis, pom-poms, I think. And then I also have this picture book, which is proving to be a lot less useful because the producer behind the scenes is putting up all these images as we're going along here. But it's just a book that we got that was filled with photos of everybody. Here's a fun one. We haven't seen this one yet. Wait, where is it? That's me and Julia. That one's fun.
Those shorts.
There it is. There's no, I'm not needed here. This is not. Yeah, those are some shorts, isn't it? Oh, there you go. There you go. Did not stolen. Stolen. All stolen merch.
So I've got something that might still give Kendall nightmares. I don't know, but we've got the basketball signed by the cast here. So this is one of the balls that was used in the show. So Elliot is very appreciative of Stephanie Fox, who's producing this. Props to Stephanie. So yeah, there are. We still have 3 of these. One of these is on display in the studio, and then we've got 2 more. And ultimately, one day, one of these will be auctioned off at Raise the Curtain. Mm-hmm. Maybe at our 10th anniversary. Maybe when we've made it 10 years.
That's only 4 years away. So
it is only 4 years away. There we are. There's the founders at East High.
You've got the right hat.
I wore that hat very specifically because Ryan wore those hats in the show.
We love a fedora.
Oh wow, that's not embarrassing.
And here this was definitely during either well, she doesn't have her crutches, so that had to have been later on in the weekend.
Yeah, one of the later shows then. Yeah.
Yeah. So what are some of your fondest memories from this show?
Who's starting this? Is you have to say, Paul, you're the.
Oh, I have to say, I can't just leave it up to you.
You have to
go first.
Yeah.
No, how about ladies first?
All right, I'll start first. So no.
So I was still pretty new to St. Louis when I was doing High School Musical. Like I think we had lived here for like a year, and I was in middle school, so that's kind of a weird time to be moving. And I really found a core group of friends doing this show, and I still to this day look back on that and like the ability that we all had to come together. Like we were talking about things with like Anna. I remember the day that Anna tore her ACL and like she like called me. Crazy. But anyway, yeah, it was really nice to just get a solid group of pals through the show. Especially being like the new kid to St. Louis.
Yeah.
Okay.
Lori just came in.
Okay, I just want to give props to my pom-pom that I spent hours on.
Should look like.
That was not a pom-pom bucket. That was like some scrap paper or something. I don't know what that is, but my pom-poms were good.
All right. So whatever it was, who knows?
She used hair bands to use to be able to grip. So Kendall, what's one of your fondest memories from the show?
From the show, probably we were at lunch one day, and I remember just being. I walked over to a group of the older kids, and no one said anything. Nobody was like, "What?" No one acted like it was a weird thing for me to do. And I was like literally 4 years younger than all of them, I think, and I just remember being like, oh my gosh, everyone here is so, so nice. And so I sat with them and it was great. And I made so many friends that were like literally years and years older than I was. And they were so sweet to me and treated me just like anybody else. And so I think that was what kickstarted my infatuation with GCPA, if you will, and my love for it. Just because everybody, regardless of age at this point, because I'm one of the older kids now, but everyone is so accepting and cares about everyone else so much, and it's just very judgment free, and that's my favorite part. So that was great for me.
Cool. And I think you brought some memorabilia that you wanted to share, but because you got cut off, we missed you during that sharing. But it looks like you moved.
It's downstairs, so fill the time in for me. I'll be right back.
Okay, sounds good. Joel, what's one of your favorite memories from the show?
You know, I think this was like the first time I was like given a role in a show, and it really like piqued my excitement for musical theater. I believe I was in all throughout high school. I was in flight school, studying to be a pilot because that was like the normal job or like the plan B, I guess you could say. And this show really set me on a course where musical theater like was my passion and wanted to be my life. And I could never be more thankful for that because like 4 years later, after spending so much money on like a college degree, you know, it really makes it worthwhile. So being Ryan and playing someone so close to like who I am and seeing his devotion and his love for dancing and theater, not letting anyone stand in his way, even if it was his sister. He just really spoke to me. Like the characters, like I think speak to the people who are playing them, and he really spoke to me on stage, off stage, and it really motivated me and allowed me to pursue this career and this love. I vividly remember practicing, not me, because I wasn't in any basketball scenes, but I remember the basketballs hitting the carpet rehearsing. And I don't know why that has always stuck in my mind, like the carpet and the basketballs. I don't know. I loved it. I don't know why, but I was glad I wasn't doing it. I just got to like hold a bedazzled mic. But yeah, that was probably like one of my fondest memories. It's just like how I can look back on it and how it's like, it just set me on this course. And it really shows, like, I love doing this live because it shows that High School Musical, I don't think will ever die. Now there's High School Musical, the series, and they just did that reunion on I think the Disney online. And it just shows like how much people love High School Musical and how it speaks to people. And yeah, I think, yeah, sorry. I'm just like rambling just because it was such a pivotal time in my life.
Yeah, it's okay to ramble. You're allowed. Like
Oh yeah,
forced nap time that nobody ever really napped during.
No. Oh, there it. Oh my.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Wow.
That is so cool. Kendall, you're back. You got some memorabilia?
Well, okay, also to Joel's point really quick, I think it's so crazy to think that GCPA did High School Musical as their first show specifically, because like you're in town, not nearly as mainstream as like High School Musical is and as like well known, you know what I mean? Just like I think it's just so crazy to think that this is like such a big deal now, and so I don't know, it just feels really interesting. But okay, so I have my little totally on brand my little program. So I'll find each of us if I can, but I want you to tell me if I look at all similar, and if I do, just lie, okay? So it's the first one. I am front, me, and then Joel's at the bottom. I feel like the teams. Don't give me a moment, but even this is like different from current GCPA programs. You know, like it's crazy that everything's been revamped. Oh my God, they're next to each other. So there's the two of them.
That's right. Oh wow.
I just think it's crazy to see how far we've come. And like you guys had your Tower Grove location and your Glendale location, and it's just like it's crazy to think how much it's evolved. But it's still Paul Pagano, Stephanie Fox, Lori, Ashley. So it's still the core team, which is so fun.
Yeah, so some things have changed, but the core remains the same, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep. There's no logo on this. None of the cool, the fancy one.
right? We
No, we are
No.
not.
No, the air conditioning was not.
I loved it. I have such fond memories of the gym.
I also have fond memories of the gym. My lungs also like not breathing dust. So that kind of
I remember learning Cool and West Side Story in that gym,
Yeah.
and everyone was just like sweating, like their clothes off. Oh my gosh, that was a
remember
whole different time.
when we had to clean there was like the floor was so dirty that we had to, and then everyone ended up singing like the Hard Knock Life.
the Hard Knock Life, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, there are definitely some fond memories and some we're okay that it's gone memories, and the broken air conditioning in the classroom, because the gym never did have air conditioning to begin with. You want to know a fun fact about that gym?
No.
I played basketball in that gym when I was growing up.
You're kidding. You've never
I played league games in that gym when I was growing up.
You've never told us this. You never told anyone this.
I know, I didn't.
Come up.
That's crazy.
So you're learning it first now at a reunion. See,
Oh, wow.
There's still stories that I haven't told everybody.
No, that's not true. I've heard your 3 stories a million times. Okay.
Four stories.
Four stories, and 7 years ago, I still.
So Beckett, what's one of your fondest memories from the show?
Oh, that one definitely. That one. Why am I feeling so wrong? Oh man. I think the first and only time I hit the high note in Breaking Free is up there. That's gotta be fond, because that was a Blue Moon experience. Sorry, there's a dog running through. Yeah, I didn't hear the dog noise.
Okay.
But I remember that was great. Reber in general, I always forget about how quintessential that location was for all of those early rehearsals, and just how much that was a part of it. And then that the church that we that like and later shows were also at too. But I'd say the clearest and most fun thing, I think that was the point where I just pretty much just blacked out when the show started, and just like woke up at the end like, oh, did I do it yet? Is it time for the show yet? So I don't remember a lot from the actual shows, but I would say that dancing I'd say that the Get Your Head in the Game number was always really fun to rehearse because it was so complex and fun to do. But backstage, I'll say this much: wait, where's my other hand? These two. Every time these two did any of their numbers, it was everyone would watch, everyone would listen, because it was just that Kendall. Oh wow, backwards. Kendall can advocate for me with this, but it was always so much fun to see these two in complete sync. They're just like perfect chemistry, and they're always putting out more energy, so much energy that, again, like I said before, it was inspiring everyone else to match them with their dedication and their it's great. It was just great acting. And there's my mom charm again, because she, yeah, okay. But yeah, that's probably my fondest memory, is getting to just watch what it was like to really be inside of a show that was so unique and so much fun and had so many different fun parts that were heightened by great actors. Not me, but great actors.
You did a fair share of work in there, and a lot of really great work in there too.
Yeah, it was. I'll agree with you there. I put a lot of work into it.
One of my fondest memories was the response that we got from the audience. So Heidi's comment just came up here in regards to the audience. Always wanted to clap and sing along, particularly at the curtain call. We knew what we were setting out to do. We knew that the process of telling the story was important. We had no idea how it was going to be received. It was our very first time, and one of my fondest memories from that show was seeing the response that the audience gave all of you, after all of the hard work you would put in to tell the story and tell a fun story while you're having fun. It was very clear that you were having fun on stage, and that's why the audience was so engaged and wanting to clap along and sing along, was because they wanted to join the fun and be with you, and just that energy in that room at every performance was a lot of fun. And that's where we knew, at least I felt at that moment, where we knew that that this was something that was going to take off. So we're really happy that you were a part of that first one. So we've been talking for about 45 minutes. Let's wrap this up with one more question. Why is it that people should take classes and audition for shows at GCPA? So Kendall, why don't we start with you?
I just think that once you start with GCPA, there's no getting rid of them. Not in a bad way, but in the way that's like it never truly leaves you. And so I remember I missed Hairspray and Avenue Q and a couple shows after High School Musical, and then got back in with West Side Story, and then got back in with Millie and Crazy for You. And it's just like, no matter how long it's been, no matter where you've gone in between, you can always go back to GCPA. And I know like kids in the craft program, it's like a huge part of their lives. And even if you aren't in something super in depth, it's like it becomes a big part of your life, even if it's just for that time. And so I think that's my favorite part about it, is that it's not just you go in, you rehearse, it's over. It's you make friends and you want to go back, and you have lasting memories, and 6 years later you're talking to them about it on a live stream. And so that's my little take.
That's cool. Thank you. Julia.
Oh my gosh. The core four, can I say that? The core four,
Yeah.
You believe in each and every student so much. And it's not just like you're signing up to take a class. You are getting to build a relationship with each and every one of you. And you see things in us that we don't know about. And okay, side story. I remember a really long time ago, it was probably in High School Musical or West Side Story. I hated dancing. I did not want to dance in anything. I was just nervous about it. And Stephanie one day went over to me and she was like, you know what? I'm really proud of you. You're going for this dance thing. You're going for it. And I just want to let you know. And here I am now, like pursuing dance as a part of my major. And if someone didn't tell me that, I don't know. Would I have given it up? I have no clue. And even more so, it's cool to see other people. Like there are people who have gone on to Millikan who also have done GCPA, and it's fun to see them wearing like a shirt or like a sweatshirt, and we'll both be like, "Oh my God, GCPA! Like I was there, you were there," and it's the same reaction. It's like, "Oh, I miss Paul, I miss Lori, I miss Stephanie." It's just all that.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Beckett.
I'd say that without a doubt. Thank you, Blue Line. I missed you too. I'd say that without a doubt, the GCPA this is something that Julia and Kendall touched on before. Kendall, just with the dynamic of walking up to older kids and them saying hi to you. You would not believe how rare that is in the theater sphere. It's very easy for other youth theater production companies at schools or just local to have a click-based system. The more shows you've been in, that's the amount of respect you'll be given system, and other things that are just like really. It's unfortunate that GCPA has that like set the standard for it so well. It being my first show, because they really because I went in believing like, oh wow, like this is such a great thing, and it is great. But just the fact that they cast based on experience and potential, that's the biggest thing here is the potential, because it's not always, hey, this person can play the role, let's bring them in, they can play the role. Sometimes what Paul over here will say is, this is, again, oh, hey, one of the minis. Oh, hi, Julia. Oh, there they are. Yeah, I have your. Here it is. Here's your pom pom. But yeah, there's so much that it can tell a kid when you're in the environment with people with the adults that respect the kids' time and also their commitments, and they have like a very professional understanding and like agreement with the kids, to the point of where there are some roles that I've been cast in that I could not have done, like Troy, and then because I couldn't act at all, it was the first show. So having directors who have patience and who can really want you to succeed for you, being in that environment, and also in an environment where there isn't a lot of hate, there's like the circles are very friendly and accepting, and even for shows that are very late here, or people like Kendall can vouch for this. There are shows that have members like myself or like Kendall who have been in the very first show and still have brand new friends in this brand new show 4 years later. They're not just, it's not a sort of thing where they'll just stick to the people that they're friends with and be cliquey and outcasting. It is a very accepting environment. It is a very sort of professional and yet kind environment. So it's absolutely a life-changing experience to go through.
Well, thank you, Beckett. Joel.
So I, unlike everyone else here, I only did one show with GCPA. But like I touched on earlier, it touched my life in such a way that it altered my my life, similar to what Julia said. Like, there were conversations between me and Paul that if I never had, I don't know if I ever would have for the rest of my life. Or if I didn't go to a certain rehearsal, and there were so many times that I didn't feel like I was dancing well enough. So it's crazy to hear now from people that they look up to me. Just because I don't think we realize all the people that we're touching whenever we're doing something. And it's, musical theater is a family. No matter if it's with GCPA or any theater troupe or musical theater as a whole throughout the entire world, we are all a family. And it's never more crucial in this time to be a family when there's no work for any of us. We can't rehearse in those sweaty gyms. I would give anything to go back in that gym right now and dance. I think it's just so important to remember that we are a family, and everyone touched on it so far. It's hard to go last just because everyone said so many important things. I say, if there's parents out there, put your kids in musical theater, put them in dance classes with GCPA. Your kids will be loved, your kids will be pushed, your kids will be, just give them something to drive them to want to go every single day. If they need to do their homework, say like, do your homework before this so you can go dance. So like, I don't know, it gives a purpose. And even if musical theater isn't your career choice in the rest of your life, musical theater classes and dance classes and acting will never be negative on your life. It will only be positive, because you learn so much about yourself, you learn so much about people, and you learn so much about how you want to treat people and those around you. So I just think it's so important, and I can't think of a better team to put your children with than the GCPA team.
Well, thank you, Joel. It has been an absolute pleasure getting all of you back together to talk about the show, take a stroll down memory lane. And there's Lori.
Also, yes, if Jack is still here, he does go to my school now. I think it's amazing. I remember him coming to tour my school, and he was in my class, and it was awesome. So similar to Julia, there are people coming into schools after me and after us, and I think that's so cool that we're still all a family. Just reiterating that.
Yeah, we've got, let's see, at Boston, we had you, we had Marissa, and we've got Jack.
Yes.
And Marissa just finished her second year. Jack just finished his first year, and of course, you just graduated. Julia Nathan is at Millikan with you. Am I missing anybody else? I feel like it's just you and Nathan right now from GCPA who are at Millikan.
Yeah. I think so.
But I know that what's really cool is that we've got a lot of alums who have auditioned at Millikan, have been accepted to Millikan, but found that for whatever reason, they found their home just as you found your home at Millikan.
Yeah.
And the same, Joel, with you at Boston. Beckett, you're up at Truman. I don't know whether or not. I think you might be our only alum at Truman.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's how it is. I probably would have known about it. Yeah, I am. There's your answer.
But what's cool about this is that you continue to build your network even beyond your work when you're in middle school. For some elementary school who are now in middle school and are on the verge of hitting the high school group, that you continue to build that network and you find that common connection when you get to college.
Oh, yeah.
And that's going to be a network that long beyond, great, my home phone is ringing.
I got it.
Give me a second.
All right, now's the time. We can say whatever we want. Quickly. Now's the time. Shout outs to Jack Bullhard. Shout outs to Elliot. Oh, okay.
You can keep doing shout outs. That's fine.
No, it would just be whoever was commenting. So yeah.
Okay. I spoiled the moment. Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah. I was taking over the stream. Hostile takeover.
Okay. But that network is something. When you mentioned, we're the theater community all over the world is a family. That network of support, that network of camaraderie is something that serves us all, regardless of whether or not we end up going into the arts. But particularly when we think about the fact that many of our graduates are now pursuing careers in the arts, that's a networking opportunity that will keep you close and have that support there for you, even in the midst of the difficult time that we're walking through right now.
Yeah, I think people are so important, and I think people forget how important people are. And we are a network, and also networking is so important in musical theater. Just like as I get older, I like remembering people's names, being thankful, being humble, but also being confident enough to know your worth is so important in musical theater. So just those are some of the biggest lessons I've learned, just sharing them for anyone listening right now that is contemplating theater. Remember people, they remember you and everything you do. So love everyone around you.
Yeah.
Also, the flip side of that, I will not be going to musical theater for a profession. I won't be following your footsteps, but I have taken so many of those lessons that you just touched on, and I can apply them to whatever else I want to do. And so I think we need to remember that with theater, the things that we learn there are so universal. I guess the same way that people are like, they say their sports teams. It's like the community that we've created is the network, of course, definitely. Oh my gosh, yeah, I have my first job at GCPA this summer. I think it's just so important that we can take that as well and just translate it into whatever we need to. I think theater is so diverse and useful in that way because I think we've all learned most of our life lessons through it, if that makes sense. But I just want to touch on that. Even if you're not going to go into musical theater, still do it. Just do it. You'll learn a lot, and it's lots of fun.
Yeah, and particularly when you come to GCPA, you're always part of the family, and you're always welcome back.
Partners here.
Love you.
Shout out to Thomas Partner.
So Kendall, Julia, Beckett, Joel, thank you so much for spending some time with us here tonight. We hope that everyone who is out there watching, you've had a great time and have enjoyed walking down memory lane with us here. We anticipate doing this a lot more throughout the month of May. So stay tuned to our social media feeds as we make the announcement on the next reunion that we'll have with another group of cast members from another one of our shows. So, gang, have a great night.
Adios.
Thank you.
Thank you, Paul.